Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. It's been a little while since I've done a knife review video, so I'm excited to be doing another one for you today. You know, sometimes life just gets a little bit busy and things get in the way, and I was sick for a little while and things like that, but doing better now, and excited to bring you guys a new knife review and comparison video. So, for a long while now, the Spyderco Stretch line of knives has been one of my favorite models from Spyderco. I think it's a highly kind of underlooked model from Spyderco, and it really has a lot of great attributes, features, and performance. And for whatever reason, I feel like the Spyderco Stretch just isn't as popular as some of the other models that they have in their lineup. You know, things like paramilitary 2s and Mannix knives and all the more common blades that you see from Spyderco. I guess maybe things like Enduras and Delicas also, which is a little bit curious. And as you can see here, you know, the Stretch, they have kind of a funky blade shape on them here. They're a little bit different looking than your standard knives, but once you get past that, they're really great blades, and I'd like to talk about both of them. But first, you know, Spyderco is always striving to improve their knives and improve their quality. I think they refer to it as a constant quality improvement, and they're always kind of changing and modifying the designs of their knives, which, you know, I greatly appreciate as a knife user, and it's nice that they're always trying to improve their designs and come up with something slightly better. And in most cases, I think that Spyderco does a really good job of improving on their already great designs. But today when we talk about the Stretch, you know, I'm not sure if I am so convinced or sold on the changes that have been made from the Stretch Lightweight to the Stretch 2, which we'll talk about here in the G10 handle scales. So without any delay here, let's go ahead and bring these knives in. So first here I have the Stretch 2 ZDP, which we'll put right there. I have also the Stretch Lightweight in ZDP. One thing that's pretty cool about Spyderco is their images, as you can see here, in their catalog are pretty true to life. So in terms of size, you can get a really good feel of just how big or small a knife is before you go and buy it yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about the Stretch Lightweight, or I guess what I'll consider the original, or maybe not original Stretch, but in this case, the prior version, the predecessor to the Stretch 2. So this particular blade, you know, it's just green FRN handles, ZDP 189 steel, Japanese produced. I think you're looking at about 3.4 ounces on this knife here, and the blade length, I believe, is just around 3.5 inches. So we'll take a look here at the Stretch 2, which is, as you can see, very similar to the lightweight Stretch there. We'll talk about some of those differences here in a second, but just immediately, just some of the differences. Obviously, the brown G10 handle scales, and this knife has full steel liners, and also ZDP 109 steel, and just a little bit heavier. So we're coming in at around, I think 4.4 ounces on this knife. So it's a bit heavier, not too much, but little extra weight there. Sorry, my words are getting a little tied up there. So overall, you know, I really like the Stretch Lightweight. This is actually one of my carry knives. You can see here, this is a user knife. Has some wear there on the pocket clip, and this blade's been sharpened up a few times by me, and has some scratches there on the blade. But overall, really great EDC knife for me. You know, it's the handle's just a little bit bigger, a little bit larger than something like a Delica, and you know, just fits really nice into the hand there. Really enjoy using this knife. Carries easily, lightweight, and you still get, you know, a really good amount of blade in your pocket for any other tasks that you may have. So you know, lockback design, no problem there for me. Just kind of give it a little knockdown here, and you're good to go. You can open and close this knife one-handed without too many problems. So let's go ahead and I guess maybe start talking about some of the differences here in the Stretch 2. So, oops. Doing everything behind a camera is more difficult here, guys. So if you look at these two blade profiles, you'll see that they're very similar. They have kind of the same overall shape. If you line these blades up, or the edges up, I should say, you will notice that they are nearly identical. However, the blade on the Stretch Lightweight is actually slightly longer than the blade on the Stretch 2. And kind of going along with some of those differences, you can see here that the blade on the Stretch 2 is a bit wider, so there's a bit more blade this way. You can see that on camera. The tip has been broadened a little bit, and it's not quite as pointy. It also appears that this, kind of hump here for the back has been extended slightly, and this forward finger choil has also been extended just a little bit more. Maybe you can see the difference there in blade length if you line those up between the two models. Additionally, this part of the handle here on the G10 has been extended on the 2, and it looks like the overall profile of the handle has maybe slightly been changed, but not too much. Oops, let me get that better in view there for you guys. But the handle is slightly longer on the Stretch 2 here, which is not bad. Honestly, on the Stretch Lightweight, this was plenty of handle for me. I didn't really have any issues gripping this knife. It really fits in well. I really like how the end of the handle here kind of comes out, really locks your hand in there, gives you a very secure grip on the knife. And it's a little less pronounced here on the Stretch 2 here, guys. But it's still a very comfortable knife in hand, and has a good feel overall. So let's talk about, I guess, a couple of things that perhaps I don't really care for with the Stretch 2. So overall, the first thing that I noticed about this knife when I picked it up, and this is the second one I've had, in my hands for use and sharpening, is the knife. It feels thinner in hand, so it's a little bit thinner knife width-wise here. But the thing that stands out to me the most, guys, is how square the handle is on this knife, and almost to the point that the shoulders and liners are almost slightly uncomfortable to grip. I mean, it's not terrible, but when you pick this knife up and you start, putting some pressure on it and holding it, you can really feel kind of the sharpness of some of these corners. And you can see here this G10 it is radius there just a little bit, but I think they could have done more with that. But the thing that I feel the most are these steel liners in here, guys. These inside corners on these steel liners are pretty sharp. And honestly, when you grip this knife, you can feel it, starting to kind of dig into the meat of your fingers there. And, I don't imagine this would cause any problems in use or things like that. Overall, to me, though, it just kind of gives me more of a, a colder feel in my hand, I guess you could say, than compared to this lightweight knife here. So, sorry about that background noise, guys. Our dog is crying because she can't come in the room here with me right now. But, so overall, this lightweight handle is just a lot more comfortable and just feels a lot warmer in the hand to me. So if I had to pick a handle, I think I would definitely go with the Stretch Lightweight handle. It just feels better for me, probably because these liners are nested and don't really come into full contact with your actual hand. The changes in the blade to the Stretch 2 are okay. You know, the blade is just a little bit wider here on the 2, a little less pointy, and a little less blade length. And you know, honestly, none of those changes I don't really think make much of a difference in terms of the functionality and use of the knife. Both of these blades are pretty thin behind the edge and are good cutters. So overall, you know, personally, I think I kind of prefer the blade shape a little bit more of the lightweight model. But you know, they're very similar. But to say that maybe the shape and design of the edge on the 2 here in some way enhances performance, I'm not really sure about that. May have just been kind of a stylistic change, you know, compared to the Stretch lightweight. But there's a kind of a interesting difference here I'll point out. If you look at the choil area right here, you can see that the blade pretty much goes all the way to the end here of this ricasso, while on the lightweight there's quite a bit of space there between you know, where the edge starts and where this ricasso area begins. But I measured both of these knives behind the edge, and they're pretty much similar in thickness behind the edge. So, you know, maybe you'd think the 2 was thinner behind the edge, given that it kind of comes down further, but it's really about the same. I measured these knives to be somewhere around 22 to 25 thousandths of an inch behind the edge, which is pretty good. You know, pretty thin for production knives. So, yeah, I mean, both are really great knives, guys. But one thing that really I think would personally steer me away from the Stretch 2 as a purchase is the price. So if you're interested in value, definitely go with the lightweight. So right now, the Stretch lightweight in ZDP is going for about $120, I think, retail. And your Stretch 2 here, guys, is going for about $210. So that's a big price difference. You know, $90 more for, you know, brown G10 and, you know, a little more prominent, thicker liners there, as opposed to what you have on the lightweight. Also, you get kind of more of this steel backspacer here, which is a little bit more finished looking than what you have on the lightweight. But honestly, none of this affects the functionality of the knife. It really just adds some weight and cost. So, yeah, that's a tough sell. You know, $90 more for just, you know, G10 and a little more steel on the knife. You know, you could probably get some aftermarket G10 scales for about that price, or maybe even less, if you look around long enough. So, you know, it's a good idea. It's, you know, like I said, I appreciate the evolution of, you know, Spyderco, you know, making attempts to improve their knives. But in this case, I don't really know if the cost, you know, is worth the rewards of what you're really getting in terms of, you know, functionality between these two knives. So, if you guys are on the fence between, you know, the Stretch 2 or the lightweight Stretch, I would definitely go with the lightweight version. They also make the Stretch lightweight in a VG10 variation, which is even less expensive than the ZDP. But honestly, if you can afford it, I would go with the ZDP knife. The edge retention on that is a lot better, and I really like that steel more than VG10 in terms of its performance and just overall use. So, alright guys, well, I'm going to wrap this up. Here I've rambled on for almost 15 minutes of time. I always say I'm going to make a short video, and I get to talking, and before I know it, you know, 15 minutes has passed. So, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm definitely going to try to get back into making some more videos on a more regular basis. You know, as I mentioned before, sometimes life just gets kind of busy, and other things are competing for our time, and don't get around to making as many videos as I sometimes like. But appreciate you guys watching, and if you have anything that you'd like me to do videos on, please let me know. As always, you know, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.